Hello everyone, it's Tuesday, it's 3 o'clock, that means it's Tech Tuesday. Today I'm going to be continuing on a series that I have been doing for a while on TruVizion Diagnostics for fiber networks and fiber equipment. Be right back. Thanks for joining me. Rick Uzzi here with the Quorum. So I've been going through for the last many weeks our TruVizion Diagnostic software, which is a cross-platform diagnostics application that works for both DOCSIS and fiber networks. And I've been showing some of the fiber features on that. And I was going to continue on that and actually finish up today, I believe, because I think I've been through everything. I just wanted to finish up today with the mapping features. So to get to that, I'm looking at the OLT screen here. So I've been through all of these panels. I'll go ahead and maybe I'll put a link at the end of this to the playlist where you can go back and see all of the videos that I've done after this broadcast. But I'm going to click right here to see just the 39 devices that are on this OLT. And let me make a note here also at the outset that I am going to be looking at our development platform. So this is a real OLT that's out in the field somewhere with actual ONTs that are connected to it, but we have put this into our development system and we've changed, we've got a handful of fake names and addresses in there out of these 39 so that I can click on these and you won't be seeing who these customers really are. So I'm going to click on this 39 here, which is going to pull up all of the particular devices on this OLT, and then you can see there's several on here that looks like 5 that I've got fake names and customers and addresses. So we put an address in here so it shows up on the map, but these devices are not actually located in Alpharetta, Georgia. They're somewhere far away from there. But this way I can show some of these features in the system on a live system so you can see me clicking around in the application without actually having to show any end user information. So here we're looking at the ONT screen, and again in the previous broadcasts I've gone through all of the different features and what we're looking at in these various panels here. And you know, one of the things that we do have is that you have the ability to put the customer's information in here, including their name, address, phone number, and account number. There's no phone number listed here, but you could put a phone number in there, account number. So this is a great screen, obviously, for a call center representative, or really anybody that wants to look at a specific device and see what's going on, because we show you what's going on with the device, we show what's going on with the ports, Gig E port, Gig E2, all the different ports on there. You got voice, video. So again, a great screen for your call center reps, and then or anybody else, as I say. But then also you've got on here, in addition to your customer information, we do plot the information on a map. And you can see here, this is the small version of the map right here, but I can see who my customer is by the little house icon that's in the middle of that flag. And you can see this one's flagged as red, and we've got some red showing up on here. The alert, another note, is that you may see some alert levels and go, well, that reading doesn't really look that bad. Well, that's because, again, this being our development system, we'll go in there and mess around with the alert thresholds. I showed that actually 2 weeks ago, how you can change the alert thresholds in here. And this being the development system, people are changing them all the time. I changed them actually prior to this to get some yellow on here instead of everything being just red. So I went in and tweaked some things, but I don't, you know, these may not be representative of what the alert thresholds would normally be, but it makes for a better demonstration. So in this case, we can see we've just in the small screen area, I've got a couple of red devices, a couple of yellow devices. And I can click in this area here and I can see just who that subscriber is. And then if I want to, I can click View Detail, and that will take me to the same exact screen, but for that subscriber. So on any of these, I can do that. So I want to see if this red one is experiencing the same kinds of things, and I want to go to their detailed screen. I can just click View Detail, and it will pull up this same screen for them. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that just to demonstrate. So here I'm looking at April, and I'm going to click over here. Now I'm looking at Javion Whitehead. So again, here I've got now my home icon right there. This is showing an offline device. I may be coming, I noticed this was not offline a minute ago, so it may be coming up and down in that case. But so I've got this one now, and now I'm looking at this subscriber. So again, another red one. I can click up here, and I have to scroll, do this. I can move the map and I can click View Detail and I can switch this subscriber. You can see here I've got some yellow. These are a warning stage, not an alert stage yet when it's yellow, but again, here's my subscriber with the house icon. And then what I can do is I can click right here and drill in on this map and get a little bigger look. So now I'm looking at a wider area, and obviously if I had a lot more devices that had addresses, they'd all be showing up here on the map. But this is nice because I can look at kind of a wider view, and I can see what's going on. I can try to decide, if I'm looking at this, what's going on, if there's maybe a common issue I can identify. So first thing I can do, again, I clicked around. Here I'm looking at this customer here, and you can see it pulls up their information that I was looking at on that other screen right here. And as I click around to somebody else, I can click here, and now I can see this customer's information. So I can see, again, his readings here. I can click this person here. I can see their readings. So I can kind of compare, just do kind of a little virtual sweep, so to speak, as I'm looking at the different readings on these devices that are showing up. And again, from this screen, I can do what I did before. I can click View Detail on any of these and go back to this ONT screen to see that particular subscriber's information. I think this maybe is the first one that I'd clicked on before. So again, I'm going to go back to the detail map and show these. And this is good, obviously, for tracking down problems. So I could see if, let's say I had lots that were showing up, a receive power level issue, and I see that stops at a point. I could say, well, let me look and see what's going on. Maybe there's a splitter out here or something that I can go look at and see if there's a problem there with the fiber, something that could be causing that. So that's a great troubleshooting tool. So again, this is great for a call center rep, this screen, but also coming into this map for anybody that's looking at it maybe at a more plant-wide kind of situation. They get a better chance to maybe troubleshoot and send a technician to the right place out in the field. Now again, another option here is I've got some filters. I can look at all of my online modems, all of my offline ONTs, and then any that are degraded. I don't know, I saw an offline one a minute ago. There may not be any now, but I'm going to select offline. I'm going to click Run. So I don't see anything. That one may be just kind of up and down. But I can also look at degraded. Well, before I do that, so if I were looking at offline, so let's say a storm came through the area, and you've got customers calling in, they're having problems, you could pull this up and pull up the offline modems and click Run, and then you can see in a gray color all of the offline devices. So again, that will help you track down where the issue is, because you can see, usually, let's say, go back to any here. So normally you'd see on this map, we have no green. With a fiber plant, normally you'd see a lot of green, and you might see some areas where you've got some yellow and red, but in this case, we've got everything kind of set, whereas on the few devices we've got yellow and red. But you'd see green, and then you might see some offline devices. You might see a gray or two, but obviously if a storm rolls through, you might see lots of green. You'll see some reds and yellows in there, but then you'll also see maybe a section of gray pins. And when you see that, again, that can help you determine where your outage is, where you should be looking for. So if you see this whole section over here, and everything over here is at least getting a signal, then you go, okay, well, I need to look somewhere between there and there for what my problem is. That helps you troubleshoot a lot faster, get mean time to repair, really reduce that as you can address outages more quickly. So you can also look for any that are showing up as degraded or being reported that way by the OLT. So I can click Run on that. Looks like I've just got one right here. Now I'm still looking at Javion here. So if I want to see this particular subscriber, I click right there, and you can see it does show status degraded. And again, I can switch to that customer by just clicking to View Detail here, and then that's going to pull up their information. And again, you can see what's going on with this particular customer. And you see operational status degraded right here. And you can see any other issues that are going on. I'll drill back in the menu again, or on the map, excuse me. So again, now this is the customer that's going to appear here. So anytime you drill in, that particular customer's information appears here. If you click on a map pin, then you can see that customer. And if you want to go to them, you can just click View Detail. One other feature I wanted to point out is that you might want to look and see what particular customers have what devices out in the field. In this case, there's only one particular vendor, that's CXNK, not familiar with that. But I can click Run and show all of those, and that's going to pretty much show everybody. But if that was, let's say I had a couple of different vendors, I could see just that vendor's particular devices. But I can also sort or filter the map by model. So for this particular vendor, I can say, well, let's see how many 721 GEs there are. I can click Run, and I can see who they are. Or I can say how many 727 GEs there are. Click run and you can see those. I've got a couple of red ones there and that yellow one there. So that's a way, again, of filtering down. You might, maybe it has something to do with the firmware that you want to check on and maybe see who has what device, or you want to see if there's something going on with a particular vendor. It could have to do with firmware. Maybe everything got updated and now things are kind of a little bit wonky, and you can then drill in and see if that is a common factor, maybe the devices that people have. So that's a nice feature. And of course you can, as with any map, you can drill further out here. Again, we've only got these devices on here that have addresses in the system. And I think, can you do a control drag? Let me see here. Is it Control or Alt? I was thinking there might be another way to drill in, but can I use my wheel? Yeah, I can use my mouse wheel. And I was thinking I could hit the control key or something and do that, but apparently not. That's just going to move my map around. So at the very least, you can use your mouse wheel to zoom in and out, or you can use obviously the usual buttons here. Something else that you can do is you can geocode in this system. So if you have a customer, this happens in various areas, maybe in very rural areas where you've got rural route numbers that are not recognized by the geocoding system, or especially in other countries, especially in the Caribbean, for example, where there's not a lot of stuff that's geocoded. So you have the ability to geocode in here where you can actually place, I'm not going to do that today. Let's see what it says. Know your location. It wants to know my location. I'm going to block that. So that might be a necessary step, thinking about it. I know on the mobile app, I didn't practice this beforehand, but I know on the mobile app, for example, if you're standing there at the subscriber home, you can go in there and you can geocode right there and say, yeah, put a map on the pin right here. So if you're there doing an install and that address is not on the map, or if you're there doing maintenance and that address is not on the map, you can just geocode right there and it will place a pin on the map for that particular device. In here, I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it without having to be, because obviously you're not the location if you're in the office. So there is a way to do it. I just can't remember what it is. I should have thought about this one beforehand. But you can actually, because if you're in the office looking at it and you say, well, I know, there's a home on at this particular place that's not geocoding on the map because it's an odd address. Again, it might be a rural route number, and maybe you've got, 7 homes that are all sharing, a big block of mailboxes or something like that, and you want to put the pin in the proper space. You can move the pin, you can, like I can go ahead and click. Let me see what happens if I click this. That's not going to do anything. Wish I could remember that. There is a way to do it. And actually, I think I did a video on that, so maybe I'll share a link to that. I did a video on geolocation and how you do that in the desktop app. I just can't remember, but you can do that in the desktop app. So anyway, the mapping again here, very valuable. You can see here what the different colors mean. You've got red, which is your alert level. That means things are really bad, need to be fixed. This is things are getting bad, or or not quite so bad. Then of course you got green is good, and then you've got your offline that would show you there. So that's it. I think that will take us through TruVizion Diagnostics for fiber. It's a very feature-rich system, very intuitive. If you've ever worked with other fiber diagnostics tools, and usually those are associated with the vendor themselves, so they're usually limited to one vendor. So you might have the element management system that comes with a particular vendor, and you can go in there and there's a lot of text-based stuff. You get lists of diagnostics. You don't get a lot of the graphic visual kinds of stuff. You don't get the map, that kind of thing. This is very intuitive, obviously, to help you troubleshoot problems, to get to things very quickly, to see the color codes on the screen and see exactly what's wrong. You don't have to drill into lots of different places. You don't have to be an engineer to use it. Again, it's very useful for anybody from a call center rep to your field technicians who can use this on their phone using the mobile app, to your head end or central office engineers who are in there, whether it's a cable head end or a central office in a telephone company. Again, DOCSIS, cable modems, ONTs and OLTs, CMTS diagnostics through DOCSIS. So all kinds of diagnostics, cross-platform. Again, the beauty of that is that if you've got both technologies, which is becoming more and more prevalent as you've got cable companies that are doing both DOCSIS and now doing fiber in certain territories, they can have one tool where they can look at their subscribers and look at the network and the equipment. And it's all pretty much the same. You can query, just to go back here to show this again. So if I go to, let me just pull up a customer screen. Actually, I don't even need to do that. So if I want to query a customer, I can come in here and I can query that customer. I can put in information in here. Actually, I can put in this screen, I can put in phone number, email, last name, or MAC address. I can search by that, or I can expand that by clicking the little plus here, and I can put in additional information. I can search. And it doesn't matter whether it's a cable modem or a fiber device. It's going to pull up that subscriber. Then you'll see what they are. And again, the screens look very similar. So the cable modem screen, the ONT screen look very similar. The CMTS screen and the OLT screen look very similar. It's just a matter of the data that's presented on there. So it makes it very easy for technicians and engineers that have to go back and forth and look at information to kind of find the stuff in the same place, and to be able to query a customer regardless of what the technology is. Especially useful, obviously, for call center staff that are taking calls for both. So again, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button and click the little bell to be notified. I'm live every Tuesday at 3 o'clock for Tech Tuesday, and then pretty much every other day I'm live for broadband deployment news, although that's at varying times of the day. So if you click subscribe and click the little bell, then you'll be notified when I am live, and you can maybe catch me live or catch me later on the recorded broadcast. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and thanks for joining me for Tech Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow with broadband deployment news, and next Tuesday with another Tech Tuesday. See you then. Bye-bye.